It's now day 2 at Laguna Seca with the 2024 Mazda MX-5 Miata ND3 Club with the Brembo BBS Recaro package. As always, the full mod list is down in the description. The main ones you need to know. Number 1, I installed the Supermiata Tecna Coilovers with sport springs, 8K front, 4K rear. I'm 5 clicks away from stiffest in the front and 10 clicks away from the rear. Konig Hypergram 17x8 wheels in bronze, wrapped in Falken RT615K plus tires and a 215 section width. Brake pads are G-Loc R10 in the front, R8 in the rear with Castrol SRF brake fluid and stainless braided lines from MiataSpeed. And today we're running with Lightspeed track events. They run at all the best Bay Area track events. Use the code JABAL for $25 off your next track day with Lightspeed. Now, for those who did not see part 1, on day 1, I was trying to hit a sub 150 and I hit a 150.2. This car can definitely go sub 150. 150 is not a very fast lap time at Laguna Seca, but given the mods on the car, this is a reasonable target to have. And a faster driver can definitely go, 48. But haven't done Laguna Seca in several years. I've only done it twice before this weekend. So we're gonna see what we can do. I definitely have a lot of things I need to work on. Gotta love that the last 2 laps were 152.79 and 152.80, 1/100th apart. We call that consistency. Consistently slow, that is. But now we're more than 6/10 up. Now see right there where I'm sawing at the wheel, that's what I'm trying to replicate on more and more corners, where I'm getting right to the limit at corner entry. Because these cars are low power, you really need to emphasize corner exit speed. And the way you're going to have high corner exit speed with a Miata is getting on the power as early as possible and minimizing how much you need to slow down your V-min in the corner. Minimum velocity. Already feeling a lot more comfortable on the track after having yesterday to really get reacquainted with it. But there are a lot of corners, like even that corner, there were several feet I could have gone further, carried more speed. And as I build comfort with the car, I want to get to that perfect slip angle, both corner entry and corner exit. I like to give the point by even before the corner is done, just to be nicer and more considerate to the people that are waiting behind. Beautiful GT4 RS that flies by. 151.08. Still about a second slower, 9/10 slower than our PB from yesterday. Staying in third here, rather than going down to second. Didn't love that corner. I'm already more than a 10th slower, causing a little bit too much rotation with that trail braking. Want to find that balance point where you get the perfect amount of slip angle. You get a little bit on corner entry and a little bit at corner exit, and you're using the full track width. That is the target, right? A lot easier said than done, something that I'm clearly not hitting here as consistently as I want. And what ends up happening is that for the Miata, I'm oftentimes on many corners apexing a little bit late. And I can actually apex a little bit earlier if I'm able to get more rotation on trail braking at corner entry and maintain greater speed throughout the corner too. So there's much time to be had with this car on Laguna Seca as I keep working on that driver mod. One thing that you'll note though, and part of the reason why I'm so much slower on this lap, is that the brakes started getting soft. Now, track speed in Fremont, California are super professional. They did an awesome, ooh, I like that. That was actually some pretty good rotation on that corner 10 right there. So track speed did a phenomenal job on the coilovers, on the hubs, on the alignment. By the way, I'm running -2 degrees in the front and -1.8 in the rear. And they did an awesome job, but I had some work done previously by someone else where they did my brake pads and my brake fluid, and I think that something there might have gone astray, because when your brake pads are overheating, that's pad fade, they're gonna lose their ability to actually generate friction and slow the car down. So the pedal itself feels fine, but the car doesn't slow down as much. and you're pushing hard on the pedal with less effect. You can also smell the pads burning, and then when you slow down, when you get to the paddock, you'll often see them smoking, which is why you gotta drive around and let them cool down a bit. But you'll see here on these laps, I'm braking way earlier. My braking zones have moved up quite a bit because I'm losing confidence in the brake pedal. What I think is actually happening is fluid fade. So that's where the brake fluid is having issues. So brake fluid is hydroscopic, meaning it absorbs moisture over time. And when that fluid boils under heavy braking, it can form these vapor bubbles, and that vapor can compress unlike fluid. So this normally happens when brake fluid is old and water contaminated, and when you've worked them very hard after many track days. I'm running Castrol SRF, which is like the best stuff, and it lasts a long time. The brake fluid is pretty fresh, so it's concerning that happened, which is why I think there was an issue at servicing. So I'll be going to track spec because they're very thorough. I know they're going to do things right, so I'll get my lines bled and then be back out on track with more confidence. But even with the brakes going a little bit soft here, it's pretty mild. It's not... Oh, there we go. I just love how on turn 8 here with the Miata in this current setup, I can elicit that rotation, that trail braking that I want very consistently at that corner. It's a lower speed corner. It's something that's easier to approach time and time again. Very fun. But even though I'm not able to push the car as hard in the braking zones, I'm still going to practice the line and still try to practice the fundamentals here. And with the brake fade, of course, trying to set a PB and go sub 150 is going to be challenging, but let's see what we can do, because there's still a lot of time that I can shave beyond just, you know, even with the later braking zones, I can definitely improve my line, improve my trail braking rotation, improve my corner exit, and so on. Liking that line a little bit better, but again, I'm still 2/10 back given brake situation. Didn't like that. Should have gotten more rotation at corner entry. I also can't really hear the car at all, and there were times when, especially yesterday when it was windier, where I would hit redline, and I was like, oh, I didn't even realize, because it's so quiet, and especially on a windy day, you really can't hear the engine. So I'm thinking about getting an exhaust and or an intake to make it more noticeable on track. I never actually had issues with my GR86, even with stock exhaust and with the engine module unplugged. I was still always able to hear the engine, but the Miata is more quiet than the GR86. Going uphill here, that 181 horsepower, fighting for all its might. Always aiming for that third tree there. That's my reference mark, because you can't really see over the corkscrew that well. Now this 992 that's pulling in right now, I didn't show all the prior laps, but I've been slowly reeling him in lap after lap. Didn't like that. Just lost 2/10 right there. But, you know, some people would get super excited. Oh wow, I'm pulling in this 911 in my Miata, which is a much slower car. But who really cares? Because obviously that driver is a lot less experienced, and if you saw the prior laps when they were in front, their line is obviously not there either. So when you go to these track days, don't focus so much on how your car compares to other people's, because the driver mod is obviously the most important thing. I clearly have a lot more to improve on, so a faster driver will go a couple seconds quicker in my same car, right? And, ooh, really sawing out the wheel there. And that's why I never focus on what cars I'm faster than, right? Oh, there we go. Getting a bit more rotation at corner entry. That's what we like. We're actually now a 10th faster than the prior lap, saved a lot of time with those last two corners. And that's why I tend to compare myself against myself and use benchmarks of other drivers in the same car, not different cars. I remember when I was tracking my FRS, there were some drivers in faster cars and Corvettes actually, they didn't like it. There was like an ego hit and there was some like animosity, which is silly, right? If someone's faster than me in a slower car, I walk up to them and say, hey, great driving, and I would love to learn what you're doing. Can I ride along with you? Can I follow you, etc.? See, again, getting a bit of that rotation, turning in on 8 right before the corkscrew. A lot of fun with this car. We got the R8 with the big wang in the rear view, quickly approaching. And looking at my relative, the top left number on the Solo, we're just a little bit less than a tenth slower. Gonna let this R8 pass on the straight. Oh, we're right around neck and neck with the PB from the day. Ooh, but Bosch that turn, which is how we end up with 0.3 slower. A little bit frustrating. I can't hit a sub 150, let alone a sub 151, even though I'm getting more experience with the track. But that's okay. Sometimes days like this happen. Went a little bit more aggressive at turn 2 here. 1.5 tenths up from my PB.
Times are getting hot.
But then I have to back off. Anyway, my friends, that's a wrap at day 2 of Laguna Seca with Miata. Follow along, we'll be doing some more mods on the car. Next we're gonna do offset knuckle bushings to add more camber, as well as a sway bar in the front. Let me know your thoughts with a comment down below. Check out the description for the answers to many of your questions. Much love, my friends, and I'll see you all in that next one.